www.uvet.org, and from the first home landing page, there is a whole section.
Vice President Glenn, second by Director Wallace, you call the closed session. Roll call vote, please.
President Rick Webb?
Yes.
Vice President Byron Glennon?
Yes.
Director Ben Stewart?
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace?
Yes.
Director Greg Wood?
Yes.
I vote.
Okay, that shows a vote of 5-0 coming to closed session. There's nothing to report on closed session. We'll continue with the meeting, or let's go into open session. At this time, now I'll read the public comment. At this time, any person may address the board on any subject within the jurisdiction which is not on the agenda. However, any non-agenda matter will be referred to staff or their action at a subsequent board meeting, and no action will be taken on any such item discussed. The action has been authorized under Section 5495.4.2 of the Government Code. Any person may also address the board on any matter at the time the matter is discussed prior to board's consideration. Speakers are requested to limit their comments to 5 minutes. It's now 6:15. I'll open the floor for public comments.
If there are no public comments, I'll speak as a citizen of the community.
Go ahead, sir. You have the floor.
Just a reminder, again this evening, I'm reading some thoughts that were communicated by my father at a public meeting in Roseman some 70 years ago. Authority can be gained by law or by force. Wisdom and judgment cannot, for these are qualities of the mind. The person who lives day to day being satisfied with what he did yesterday is good enough for tomorrow will treat his job no better for having held it. The great majority of improvement in our world did not come by accident, but rather as a result of man's ingenuity, his sense of imperfection, and his constant search for improvement. Thank you.
Thank you. I like those. You remember you have to do us a book before we're done. Yeah. Okay, with that, is there any other one from the public? Okay, now we go down to voluntary public roll call. Via teleconference, any member of the public in teleconference who wishes to identify themselves as present in this meeting may do so.
Yes, Roseman News is here. John Joyce, Happy New Year. President Rick.
Good evening, John. Happy New Year to you and family and your staff at the paper there, sir.
Good evening, John.
Good evening.
Good evening, John.
Is there anyone else? Okay. Well, let's move down to the minutes. Can I get, I'm going to, if it's okay, since I'm going to, M1, M2, and M3.
You can do all four at once.
All four on the backside. Yeah. What I'd like to do, directors, can I get a motion to approve M1, M2, M3, and M4? And let me read off what they are. M1 is the approval of the December 15th Sewer Committee meeting minutes. M2 is the approval of the December 13th Policy Committee minutes. M3 is the approval of the December 8th regular board meeting minutes. And M4 is the approval of the December 7th strategic planning meeting workshop. And these were all conducted in 2021. So I get a motion from the director to approve all four, please.
So moved, Byron.
We have Director Glenn and Vice President giving a motion for the four. May I have a second?
Second, Rick.
Okay, he beat you. We have Director Wallace. Okay, you got to work on the budget class too, young man. So we have Director Glennon, motion to approve all M1, M2, M3, and 4. We have a second by Director Wallace. We have a roll call vote, please.
President Rick Webb?
Yes.
Vice President Byron Glennon? Yes. Director Ben Stewart?
Yes.
Director Alfred Wallace? Yes. Director Greg Wood? Yes. 5-0.
With the vote show there was a 5-0 for the approval of those minutes. We'll continue with the consent calendar. I'd like to get a motion for CC1, CC2, CC3, CC4, CC5, and CC6. So let me read them prior to the motion there, please. CC1 to approve the check voucher register from 11/30/2021 to 1/3/2022. CC2 is the cash balances of October 2021. CC3 is the cash balances from November 20th, 2021. CC4 is the cash balances for December 2021. CC5 is the second quarter treasurer's report, and CC6 is the reserve balances. Can I get a motion from a director so we can vote on all six of those, please?
So moved.
We have a
1 through 6.
We have a motion by Vice President Glennon. May I get a second, please?
I'll second.
Okay, we have Director Wallace as the second. So I have a motion by Vice President Glennon, a second by Director Wallace. May I get a roll call vote, please?
President Rick Webb.
Yes.
Vice President Byron Glennon. Yes. Director Alfred Wallace. Yes. Director Greg Wood. Yes. Director Ben Stewart.
Yes.
Okay, well, the record showed there was a 5-0 vote for approval in FinCom items CC1 through CC6. Let's move on now to the public hearing. This ordinance number 2021-1. It's adjusting the Board of Directors compensation, and the presenter will be the General Manager, Steve Perez. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you. As you recall, we introduced the ordinance to be heard at this public hearing, the ordinance will authorize the increase of the board member's salary by $38. And I might add that the salaries have not been adjusted for 14 years, or 12 or 13 years, depending on what part of this year that we take that to. And the law authorizes a 5% increase, and rather than increasing up to $116, I did some recalculations depending on how you read the law, whether it is a 5% times the 12 years absent or a 5% compounding on an annual basis. And done a study on agencies of comparison, and determined in that study that the Roseman Community Service District Board of Directors ranked second from the bottom in salary. Largely, I would imagine, because of how long it's been before it's been adjusted. I've got to say that in looking at an adjustment, I know people are critical of people serving in positions like this and voting themselves a raise, but I've got to point out a significant amount of time that the board members put in to attend meetings, number one, to read documents, number two, to educate themselves, number three, and to serve the community. It's a very small remuneration for doing that, and that's why this is coming forward. So in the comparison of like agencies, in determining that the directors were that far below, it was determined that instead of shooting at the top of the pile or remaining at the bottom of the pile, that the board would shoot at the midpoint. And I think it's commendable, because actually when you start looking at how the law is written and the interpretation of that, it could have been significantly higher. And for a modest $38 increase, I believe it's warranted. And what will happen in this is, if it's voted on, it will go into effect 30 days after. It'll actually go in, or 45 days, I believe, after the vote's taken, and which will be March 1st is when it will become effective. And I've got to point out the numbers that we're seeing when people start multiplying how much you can get in a month. That's if you attend a meeting. You don't get it automatically. You be given to you because it's out there. So it's only a maximum of 6 meetings a month that you can get paid for. So that little tidbit has to go out also. So it's going from $147 a meeting to $185 a meeting, and the recommendation by staff is to approve this measure, moving the board salary to a midpoint in agencies of comparison and not allowing this deficit to get any larger, because in the future it could be a heck of a lot greater and people may strive to get it.
And the jump would be probably shocking at that time.
Exactly.
Fair enough there. Anything else enough for public comment, Steve? Okay. At this time, you've heard input from the general manager. At this time, we open the floor for public comment regarding ordinance 2021.-1, the increase of the board director's compensation from $147 per meeting to $185 per meeting. And that, again, that's for 6 meetings total. That doesn't, that's the maximum amount the directors can be paid for. At this time, I'll open the floor for public comment. Okay, at this time, you have Director Glenn. Let me make sure no one from the public. Is there anyone from the public that's going to come forward? Because if not, there's a director that's going to make a comment. You can also come up after him. You have the floor, Byron.
This is made not in relationship to myself, but I have no doubt in my mind that Director Webb, Wood, Stewart, and Wallace all deserve this increased compensation. Steve named some of the things that we do. He left one off that I know some of these directors have faced on a regular basis, and that is abuse because of this position. And that's all I want to say.
See that. Director Wallace, anything, sir? Director Wood?
No comments here.
Hey, Director Stewart?
No comments.
Okay, the only thing I will say, folks, it's a privilege to serve my community. Like I've said from day one, when the community supported me and elected me, is that we're going to be fair, we're going to be equitable across the board. And that still will be the thing, whether it's $1, $100, it's the fact that I believe in the community, I believe in the job that I'm doing. That's why I do the job that I do. So with that said, we got that, Steve. We had anyone, is anyone from the public again before we close public comment to come forward? Okay, that's showing it's now 6:27. There's really no one from the public come forward. We'll close public comment. I now need a motion for ordinance number 2021, ordinance number 20-21 for the adjusting of the board directors of compensation. I need a motion, please.
So moved, Byron.
We have Vice President Glennon. Can I get a second?
I'll second it.
We have a second by Director Wallace. I'm going to need a roll call vote.
President Rick Webb.
Yes.
Vice President Byron Glennon. Yes. Director Ben Stewart.
No.
Director Alfred Wallace. Yes. Director Greg Wood.
Yes.
Okay, will the record
4-1.
Will the record show that there was a 4-1 vote for the acceptance and approval of ordinance number 2021-1, 4-1. Okay, let's move on to new business here. And this is the assignment of the board of directors to standing and ad hoc committees. And I have the floor on this. So directors, I hope you had a chance to look at the committee assignments. So for 2022, the committee assignments, the standing committee is going to be as such. Engineering, you will have Director Glennon, Director Wood. Finance, you will have Director Webb and Director Wallace. Policy, you'll have Director Stewart, Director Wallace. Personnel, you'll have Director Wood, Director Webb. Governmental Relations, you'll have Director Glennon, Director Webb. Water, you'll have Director Glennon, Director Wallace. Sewer, you'll have Director Stewart and Director Wood. So let me stop on those there. When it came out, I'm going to allow the directors on those committees, the 2 directors, to figure out who will be the chair of each. Like I said, when they came out, whether it's first name, second name, you directors get together and you pick out who will be the chair, and we'll move forward on that. And that's then so with the ad hoc committees. The ad hoc committees, we have grants, we have Director Wallace, Director Stewart. Emergency preparation, we have Director Webb, Director Wood. Water acquisition, we have Director Webb, Director Glennon. Water banking, we have Director Glennon, Director Webb. Water reclamation, you have Director Wood, Director Stewart. Park and Rec, you have Director Stewart and Director Wallace. And water conservation, you have Director Webb and Director Wood. So on all the committees here, I just ask the directors 2 things. Think balance and time that you see who's going to be what with them. And if possible, I would like all these committees more so, the standing committees more so than the ad hoc committees, if you can get a meeting in by January so you can kind of set your agendas pushing forward. Okay, any questions? Director Wood, Director Stewart, any questions online?
No. Nope.
Byron, Director Wallace?
I'd like to get a copy of that.
Yeah, you'll get a copy of it. So like I said, the biggest thing here, I would like for you folks at some point to touch bases. We still have 2 weeks left in the month. I would like as best you folks can to get a meeting set up so we start off the new year moving forward. And the other thing too I'm going to ask/demand is with these committees, let's start bringing a report to the full board as we push forward. So if you have a committee meeting, at the next board meeting, you should have something to report back to the board. Steve, do you have anything on that?
No, it would be good to anybody that has under comment to just say that their committee has met and here's what we've done, and that's the benefit of the whole board.
Yes. Okay. So committee assignments are there. Like I said, if someone has an inkling to be moved around or something, like I said, you can let Steve or myself know, and we'll entertain it. What I try to do is give everybody a little bit taste of something different. I know a couple of them from the directors have been there for a long time, but the way you get new information spread out is sharing the new information is spread out. Okay, let's continue with the agenda, and we'll go to director reports, comment, and future agenda items. I'll start with you, Director State. On this one? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, we have, I'm sorry about that one, folks. We have presentations. We have the water reclamation plan update. We have the Public Works Manager, Brock Smith. Brock, are you there, sir?
I am. Good evening. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. You have the floor.
Thank you. Due to the holidays, progress was limited at the wastewater treatment plant. Since the last meeting, the contractor connected the chlorination system to the RAS line, built the new aeration basin, completed wiring for the scum pit controls, and completed the coating on the influent aeration basin T. The blower rep was also on site to replace defective parts on one of the 2 new blowers. Although multiple parts were replaced, the blower will need additional work prior to startup and certification. This is one of the few remaining items before we can get this plant up and online. So hopefully I will have better news to report at the next meeting, and that concludes my update for the wastewater treatment plant.
Okay, any directors, any question for the for Brock?
No.
Greg, Director Stewart, any questions for him?
No.
Okay, with that, let's go to Director's report. And Director Stewart, I'm going to start with you, sir. You have the floor.
As you can tell, it sounds like I'm battling something right now, you guys. Don't feel 100%, but I'm not terrible, so I decided to stay home tonight. Just want to let you guys know everybody needs to be safe out there, follow the current protocols, and just be mindful. Some people's immunities might not be as strong as others, so just because you're not showing symptoms doesn't mean you're not passing them along. So that's all I got.
All right, so we'll get better. Stay well. You still have to go to school tomorrow. No excuses. Okay, Director.
Yeah.
Director Wood, you got the floor, sir. Go ahead.
Just like to say that attended the AVEC meeting last night, and I got good news. The water is the recent storms we've had is not taking us out of the drought, but it has taken the edge off. And right now, they don't have a firm number yet, but according to the State Water Resource Board, that it looks like AVEC is going to get 15% of their allotment for 2022, which is up from 5% or less that they were talking about just back last month. So that's good news. We got a lot of snow up in the Sierras, a lot of snow up in the Tahoe area. So it's helped. It's going to alleviate some of the seriousness of the drought that we were facing. Are we out of the woods yet? But at least we've got a little bit of breathing room that we didn't have last month.
It is good news. Thank you, Director Wood. Director Wallace, you have the floor, sir. Okay. Director Glennon.
I have 2 items. I'd like us to realize that this is the last year that the General Manager, Steve Perez, will be serving in his 60s. He turned 69, so this is his last year. Next year, he will be in the 70s. My second item, we mentioned it a while back, but I received a request from Counsel after they canceled their thing concerning action from our district. The topic is the pending legislation concerning PFAS.
Oh, that's bad.
This legislation would become very costly to our district in the future. And here's the thing I got from them, and it kind of gives you an idea of how you want to write the letter. Greg, you probably got this in your email too.
Yes.
I'll send the directors a copy of it, and I'll give Steve a copy. But we need to generate a letter from us and let them know we're doing it. Okay? Because that can really throw a snafu in our reclamation plant out there. We have, in regard to PFAS, we've been diligent to look into the upcoming potential of having to mitigate for PFAS. So we've been doing some baseline testing of our waste stream at the plant. And luckily, we've had non-detectable inflow of PFAS in our waste stream. And what that tells us is we can create a baseline. So when PFAS is detected in the area where it's not coming from our waste stream. Did you get that from Counsel, Greg?
Yes, and the PFAS is an issue that we have been discussing in our committee meetings, and it's something that this board and staff has been on top of since it came out before the pandemic, when they were first reporting it. And but yes, there is a lot of stuff going on the horizon as far as regulations and stuff go, especially some of the proposed regulations by the state of California. And it's something that we need to keep on top of. And for another day, we will educate the public on exactly what PFAS is and what we're dealing with. But yes, I did receive it, Byron, and I've been reviewing it.
Yeah, I think we need to, generate, and Greg, you may be the one to do this, generate a letter and get it to CASA and get it to the senators. They list the senators that should be received.
Yeah. Well, this was the email that I was waiting on since our last meeting when we were talking about the state regulations. And now that I've got this letter, we can work through CASA to get this letter generated and get Steve to run it up to legislative issues as well. So I'm working. Hopefully, we'll have it ready for review within the next week and a half, 2 weeks.
I might add that being on the board of the California Special Districts Association, we have embarked on a federal association, and it's coming together rather well. And this would be a perfect lobbying effort for this issue, for them to take this up and work on. Because we want to get it now before it gets through legislation and it's already in place. Well, I'll tell you what, if we're just now getting it, they've probably had months.
Steve, on your part up there in Casa, are they talking about coming off of the 70 parts per trillion threshold at the federal level? Are they look like they're status quo at keeping it at the 70 parts per trillion?
Well, they haven't been outward on that change as of yet. I haven't seen anything of what they're proposing as far as an MCL.
Yeah, we know that the state is proposing a much, extremely much lower threshold on that, and that was our concern, and that's what we were forming our letter for. I was just kind of wondering at the CSDA level if you got any more feedback if the federal level was satisfied with status quo, or if they were looking at lowering that.
No, I haven't.
Okay, so this will be good that we'll be working on together. Byron and I are on the committee that's putting this together, and so we'll have more to report in a couple of weeks.
Thank you. You know, the amazing part about this, there's always something there. Remember back when we were doing the chloramines back, when like Kathy Spore was on the board, and then you have the arsenic. Yeah, there's never a day you wake up that something that you never knew existed in your world is in your world. So that's remained good.
Create jobs for people.
Well, apparently it does.
The level that they detect this is in the billions.
Yeah.
And many of the labs that we take our stuff to can't even test for it.
Well, I guess you just got to go buy the equipment so they can test for it down there. You know what amazes me? This is my comment. You know, I listened to Director Glenn, and he reads some of the comments that his dad wrote, 50 years ago, Byron? On those comments your dad had?
About 70, yeah.
And they're just as pertinent then as they were today as far as common sense. And a lot of times we don't apply common sense to stuff. You can slow down something to a crawl, and nobody benefits from the crawl. So I would just hope that this here and these other challenges that we have, one thing I think we're fortunate we have, thank you for bringing it to our attention, Brian, we always kind of know about it. We knew about this a while back, a couple of years ago, and now we have to give it more attention. But that's our responsibility as a board. That's your responsibility as a GM, so let's hit it head on. I want all you folks in the community to take care of yourselves, also the district. The district, just prior to the end of the year, they got, 5 people, Steve?
Yeah.
5 people got hit with COVID. This is no joke. I don't know what the answer is because that's not really my job. I do know that we're bringing you guys good water. We're keeping all the sewer moving down the way for you to keep you as safe as possible with good water. We'll continue to do our job. You folks continue to keep yourselves safe. Let's have a good 2022. With that, I'll move to our legal counsel. John, you have anything for us?
Nothing to report tonight.
All right, sure. Stay well. Steve, you have the floor.
Nothing to report.
Okay. Brock, are you there? You or John, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead. You have the floor, sir.
Since this is the first meeting of 2022 already, I thought this would be a great opportunity to brief the board on some of the statistics from 2021 and how those compare to years prior. So I want to start with gallons of water delivered to our customers. In 2021, we delivered 838 million gallons of water to our customers. That represents a 3% increase from the prior year, which is exactly the same as the population increase that we saw during that time. For gallons of sewer treated, we treated 386 million gallons of sewer. That's actually a decrease from the prior year. There's a few things that could be attributed to. One is a lot of people returned back to work in 2021. And we also installed new meters at the wastewater treatment plant, which we believe have better calibration and they're more accurate readings. For sewer mains cleaned, we cleaned 25.8 miles of sewer mains. That is a 88% increase from the previous year. We have better trained staff and we have more equipment, so we're able to get more of that done in the time that we have. We cleaned graffiti or removed graffiti for 16 days in 2021. That's actually a 45% decrease from the prior year, so it looks like we didn't see quite as much from prior years. And for leaks repaired, the district repaired 243 leaks. That is a 19% increase from 2020.
That's it, yeah? That's all you had?
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thank you, John. Well done. Could you do me a favor on that, Brock? Are you there?
Yes.
Could you email a copy of those numbers you have there? Could you email me a copy of that, please?
I will, and those numbers will be reported to all of our customers in the January newsletter that they receive with their bill as well.
That's good. Hey, so here's another question real quick before you go. At the beginning of COVID and the pandemic back way long ago, we were talking about the capacity down there at the plant there. Everything's so you guys had no big hiccups, haven't had any big hiccups with bulk stuff coming through there, nothing messing up, correct?
No, you know what, that was, seemed to be directly related to toilet paper shortages. When everyone was going crazy at the stores buying all the toilet paper, people were using whatever they could and flushing whatever they could, and that's since stabilized, so we're back to normal levels.
Good numbers, good man, good information. Do you have anything else for us?
No, that is all.
Okay, that's a good report. Thank you very much. Okay, can I get a motion for an adjournment?
So moved. Fine.
We have Vice President Glennon first. A motion. Can I get a second? Second by by Director Wallace. We have a motion by Vice President Glennon, a second by Director Wallace for adjournment. Can I get a roll call vote, please?
President Rick Webb?
Yes.
Vice President Byron Glennon? Yes. Director Pat Stewart?
Yes.
Director Alfred Ball? Yes. Director Greg Wood?
For the record, so there's a 5-0 vote for the adjournment at 6:46 p.m.